I've reviewed thousands of resumes as a recruiter, and trust me, most of them don't stand a chance. But here's the thing, the best ones all follow the same rules. And in 2025, the rules are shifting. So if you want to stand out and land that job, you must include these 6 key elements. So let's dive in and see what they are. First up, a simple format. No fancy graphics, no over-the-top designs, just a clean, easy to read layout. Use a single format to keep things straightforward. Recruiters spend a matter of seconds on your resume initially, so make them count by making it readable. It certainly doesn't need to be one page, and actually I don't think I've ever placed a single candidate with a one-page resume. Not once in close to 10 years of recruiting in over 50 different countries and across multiple sectors ranging from engineering and construction right through to pharmaceuticals and biotechnology. So long as I could see what I needed to see, it wasn't a problem. Now, here's a quick tip to help you with that. So use font size 10 to 11 and a professional font like Arial or Calibri. Actually, I also like Aptos, which is very similar to Arial. Now, next, ditch the fluff in the professional summary. This is not the place for vague buzzwords like team player or go-getter. Instead, provide a high-level overview of your background, highlighting major accomplishments, and include results from significant projects. Now, when I worked as a recruiter, I'd often change nothing but their professional summary when putting them forward to my clients and had no trouble securing them interviews, despite the fact I'd be charging 25 to 30% of their annual salary as a finder's fee if they got hired. In fact, let me tell you a quick story. When I first switched from recruiting full-time to being a career coach, I sat down with a client who had paid for a resume writer. Now, at first glance, the resume looked polished, but as a recruiter, it would have held my attention for about 2 seconds. Why? Because the summary could have described anybody. Sure, it made them sound great. They were an innovative leader managing high-value projects and spearheading growth. But here's the problem. She was a VP for a large tech company, and every applicant at her level would say the same thing. Now, what I needed to know was her specific achievements, the system she had used, the scale of the growth, and the sector she worked in. And get this, she hadn't even labelled the type of VP she was. For all I knew, she could have been a VP of a food and beverage company, even though she'd been leading high growth tech startups for over 15 years. Now, that's why it's critical to make your resume speak to your unique experience and within a matter of seconds showcase that you are a potential fit. And if you can do that, you're already well on your way to securing that all-important interview invite. But next, let's talk about company descriptions. Now, this is something most people completely overlook. Now, let's look at this from a different angle for a second. So if you were a sports fan recruiting for a basketball team and you saw a resume for a point guard, would you choose the person who's been playing casually with their local team every Sunday or the one who's been playing professionally in the high stakes games? Now, it would be a no-brainer, right? Well, the same goes for recruiters. When I'm reviewing a resume, I need to know whether you've been managing Margaret and Janet at a small accountancy firm, or if you've been leading international teams at a powerhouse like PwC. Now, adding a one-line description for each employer, even if it's just their industry, size, or focus, gives immediate context and shows the scale of your experience. Now, don't make recruiters guess. In most cases, they'll get it wrong and they don't have time to go digging. Well, not when they've got hundreds of other options at their fingertips. Now, the other thing to remember is that numbers speak louder than words. Always, always, always include quantifiable metrics to show the measurable impact you've made for each role. Now, this is so important because recruiters love to see results that you've achieved. So revenue growth, cost saving, process improvements. And if you're struggling to quantify your work, think about metrics like efficiency, customer satisfaction, or team performance. And if you really need help with that, you can access my guide on how to do so with over 100 examples via the link in the description below. Okay, but now we're on to the big one, strategic keywords. Now, whether you are following a job search strategy like the one I give my clients that allows them to completely bypass the ATS system, or applying online, you need to be using the right keywords and the right terminology. And effectively, you need to be speaking in the same way that the individual employer speaks. Now, the trick, you absolutely must use the job description as your cheat sheet. And this is where paying for a resume writer is a flawed strategy. Because while a good resume writer might be able to write you a resume that will be a 10 out of 10 resume for one application, that very same resume might only be a 5 out of 10 at best for the next. And the same goes for using AI tools. Now, AI tools can help, but the harsh reality is that there is so much psychology that goes into crafting a winning resume that they just are not there yet in terms of getting the personal matching correct. Now, the chances are that the AI tool might tell you that your resume is a perfect fit, but in reality, when it's reviewed by a real life person, you can still be way off. And I can testify for that because I've had clients who have proudly come to me with their resumes put together with these tools, only to have an aha moment when I point out where they've gone wrong. So my advice is to avoid generic AI generated resumes. They lack nuance and you'll only end up blending in with everyone else doing exactly the same thing. And finally, a balanced skill set. Now, the best resumes focus on hard technical skills that match the job description, but still include a sprinkle of some key soft skills. So for example, for a data analyst role, pair skills like SQL and Python with cross-functional collaboration or problem-solving skills. Now showcase how these skills were used, but also how you integrated them within your work. Now, of course, this is the sort of one-to-one in-depth advice you'll get when working with me one-on-one by my Career Growth Accelerator program, where I have helped hundreds and hundreds of job seekers land highly paid roles without ever applying via the ATS. So do check out the link in the description below. And there you have it. The 6 resume elements you must have in 2025. Now, if you want more insider tips like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you don't miss my next video. And if you enjoyed this video, check out this playlist where I walk you through optimizing your LinkedIn profile. I'll see you there.